Hey first graders, Mr. Bella here. Alright, let's get started on your next project. But let's first talk about the difference between two-dimensional, which is also known as 2D, and three-dimensional, which is known as 3D. So we're talking about shapes here. And when something's 2D, like this square here, it's just a shape on a flat surface. Alright, it's just a drawing of a square on a flat sheet of paper. And dimensions are measurements. So let's see what we can measure on this square. And we get the ruler here, and it's 2 inches from side to side. Alright, that's the length. And let's measure the height. Let's see how tall it is. The up and down measurement is also 2 inches. So I was able to get 2 measurements, and that makes this two-dimensional, or 2D. Now when something's 3D, I should be able to get 3 measurements. And let's take a look at this cube here. This is a 3D shape. So if this was in 3D form, it would look like this. And let's see how many measurements we get. Okay, the side-to-side measurement, the length is 2 inches. The up and down measurement, the height is 2 inches, and I can measure the width of it. My third measurement is also 2 inches, just 2 inches back. 3 measurements, 3D. So this is 3D, and this drawing of a square is 2D. Okay, now remember that for this project. And today, you are going to draw some two-dimensional food on a picnic plate. So imagine you're on a picnic, and what kind of food would you like to have on your picnic plate? And what would that food look like if you were in the air looking down at it? So be thinking about the kind of food you would like to eat if you went on a picnic. Okay? And I'm going to show you some examples. When you get your plate, it'll be empty. And if you don't have a paper plate, go to the store and buy some. And if you can't do that, then just get a sheet of paper and you can just draw your food on a sheet of paper. Or you can draw a nice big circle and pretend it's a plate and draw your food on there. Alright, so once you get your plate, you want to think about what you want your food to be. Okay, and I'm going to show you some different examples so you can start thinking about what you might want to have. Now on this one, I'm drawing two-dimensional version of an orange slice. See these little M's on these circles? You know what those are? If you said M&M's, that's correct. And this looks like a donut. And of course, we all know this is a banana. And I'm trying to make them life-size. Let's say I put a real donut down here. I want to make it about the size of a real donut, the size of a real orange slice, the real size of M&M's, the real size of a banana. I don't want to go in onto my plate and draw a tiny little banana that's this big. You know, that's not how big a banana is. A banana's about this size, maybe bigger. Some are a little smaller, some are bigger. Alright, so that's no good. Just the same as if I wanted to draw a slice of pizza. I'm not going to make one this small. That's tiny. That's no bigger than my thumb. A slice of pizza would take up this whole, almost this entire plate, wouldn't it? So think about that kind of stuff. Get this off of here. These are way too small. That's just not going to do, is it? Alright, so there's an example. And of course, after you draw it in pencil, then you can color it in with some crayons or markers or whatever you have to color with. I like to use crayons. I think it looks a little more realistic. Well, what's all on here? That's some more M&M's. These have little S's on them. What are those? Skittles. There's a Twizzler. or maybe a piece of licorice, a bunch of grapes. They can be a little bigger than this too. They're not, sometimes they're a little smaller, sometimes they're bigger. And that's not an orange slice, that's a what? Apple slice. And we all know what that is. Yummy. I like chicken too. Now, once you're done with that part, then you can color them in. If you have something circular to trace, or you can draw your own circle. Look, some broken cookies, some crumbs, a bunch of chocolate chip cookies. Maybe you want to do a plate of the same thing. What do we have here? Cherries and corn on the cob. Uh-oh, more Skittles. What's that? Yep, pickle. And a lot of people like to eat these in the summertime or grill them. Yep, we got a hot dog. There's the bun and some mustard and ketchup. And that's the size of a real hot dog, isn't it? Try to get your stuff the size of the real thing, okay? That's the challenge. Yeah, you might have said Takis or Cheetos. This is half of a what? That's right, it's half a sandwich. You see a little ham sticking out there, some lettuce. There's the crust. There's the regular part of the bread, and it's been cut, so it's only half. You don't see any of this sticking out this part, because it got sliced down the middle. Well, you're going to like this one. Oh, there's another pickle, a couple of pieces of gum, some hard candy in the little wrappers, and there's a little stick you hold, lollipop, and of course, you got your waffle cone and ice cream, and I made it look like it's laying down on the plate and it's starting to melt. See how the stuff's starting to melt. You don't want to leave it there too long. You won't be able to eat it anymore. And a summertime favorite. Yeah, that's right. Watermelon. Here's a big old cookie and a couple of cherries. Okay, so when you start working on yours, this is what you want to do. Get your plate ready, or a sheet of paper if you're using just a regular sheet of paper. You can pretend you have a rectangular plate, okay? And start thinking about what you're going to draw. I'm going to draw a big slice of pizza. And I know a slice of pizza would take up most of this plate. So I'm going to start over here. Put a big V shape. There we go. And I'm going to go across like this. And I'm going to make the crust over here. It's okay if it goes up into the ridges. Alright. And I want to have pepperoni pizza, so I'm going to draw some pepperonis. Some little dots on there. That's a spicy part of the pepperonis. And where this pizza got cut or sliced there, so I'll draw some semicircles here, because the other part will be on the other slice that someone else has. I'm trying to make these circles the same size. If this was a semicircle, it would be about that big. So think about that. Take your time and try to make the pepperonis. If you do pepperonis, you might want to do something totally different like the other examples I showed you. So you don't have to do a pizza, but you can if you want to. There's my pizza. That looks like the size of a regular slice of pizza. Some pizza slices are bigger. Some might be a little smaller, but that's kind of regular size, I guess. Maybe kind of small. And let's see what I want to put over here. I'm going to put some dessert. I'm going to draw a brownie square. And I'm going to put some sprinkles on top of the brownie. My mom always she made brownies and put sprinkles on them. Also, you can buy them with sprinkles, like Little Debbie's. There we go. Some sprinkles on a piece of brownie. Alright, you can make your brownie piece bigger if you want, but that's just a little square piece. And I'm going to put something healthy on this side. I'm going to put, let me see. I'll put a piece of and I'm going to color it green. So what do you think that is? It's green, it's a vegetable, it's healthy. Let me put some little marks in there. And I like to dip it in some sauce, some ranch. Broccoli, that's right. There's some broccoli right there. And I think I'll draw I have some space here, so I'm going to put a little cherry right there. There we go. Alright, you can put more food if you want, but I'm going to stop right here. Okay. Alright, so now it is time to color it in. And I always like to start with a light color first, so I'm going to get a yellow, and I'm going to start coloring in the cheese. Alright, so here I go, coloring that all in. Alright, time to move on to the pepperoni. I've got my red crayon, and I'm going to start coloring all these little pepperonis in. Okay, so I finished the pepperoni, and I decided to go ahead and color the cherry. I pushed a little harder for the cherry, because it usually has a deeper, darker red than a pepperoni would. And I still want to be able to see these little spicy spots on the pepperoni, so that's something to think about too. Anyway, so I'm going to get some bright colors and color in some of the sprinkles on here. Maybe some of these colors more than once. I'll put some blue sprinkles on there too. All those different colors. There we go. Alright, I'm going to get the brown and color in the crust. I'm going to color it kind of lightly because the crust is usually like maybe a cream color or a light brown color, depending on the pizza. They have the pretzel crusts now too, so that's what I'm going to pretend this is, a pretzel crust. And I'm going to color in the brownie also brown. And then I'm going to work on the broccoli, and I'll make these little lines darker so they show up, and then kind of color kind of lightly in there. And I'll use a lighter green for this part, and maybe a cream color for the ranch. I think that's, so I'm going to go ahead and continue working on these. Okay, so I colored the brownie a little harder because I wanted it to be darker than the crust, you know. Crust is kind of lighter. And nice dark brown fudge brownie. And I've got the stem here. I'm going to color that nice and dark. Got a little highlight on the cherry. And we'll get some cream color here and color in the ranch sauce for my vegetable, for my broccoli. There we go. Put a little bit of, there we go, little bits in that ranch. Little tiny, there we go. I think ranch has little bits like in that. I think so. And this part of the broccoli is usually lighter, a lighter green. There we go. Alright, so here we have some two-dimensional food on a picnic plate. What do you want to have on your picnic plate that you are going to eat at your picnic? You have fun with this project. I'm adding more spice, little bits in there, make these pepperonis look more realistic. I can't wait to see what kind of food that you draw and color in. Right, have fun with this. Bye-bye.